Hey guys, sorry about the little bit of a late start, but it just literally when I was fixing to push, go live, my brother called me, and sorry, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. It's been a rough 2 weeks. It was my baby brother that called me. Some of you may know, um, if you've seen it, I've posted some community posts here on YouTube and on my Facebook group. We lost my baby sister-in-law. Oh, on January, whatever month, July 28th. Um, so he had called me and wanted to talk for a minute. So of course I took his call. Absolutely. So I apologize for the late start. Um, but I'm glad to be back. If I seem a little off, it's because, like I said, it's been a really, really rough couple of weeks. I actually lost two people that I was close to exactly a week apart. And I haven't been live in so long that it may take me a minute to get back into the swing of things. So I apologize in advance. Just hang in there with me. I have a slideshow with some stories, missing persons, and the usual, cold cases, missing persons. But if you guys just want to chat, whatever you want to do, I'm so behind in but just about everything that's been going on in the true crime world over the last couple of weeks. You guys might have to catch me up on some stuff that's been going on, because I honestly have not even been. I've done uploaded a couple of videos that I pre-recorded, a month or so ago, just to try to keep some content up while I was going through this time that me and the family been going through. But other than that, I haven't really been thinking about YouTube or Facebook or true crime, or, I've just been concentrating on, my family, my brother, my nephew, trying to be with him and give them some comfort and some company. And, we had lots of family from my side of the family, my sister-in-law's side of the family, that came in from out of state. So, but about the last week and a half has just been family time and grieving time and healing time and, faith time. So I'm glad to be back, though. I'm ready. I got back to work this week. I think I went back to work. See what's I don't even know what today is, Friday. I went back to work Wednesday, started doing schlepping groceries again. So I've been doing work and trying to get, keep my mind busy, so I won't, sit and think a lot. Not that I'm not going to think about her, or my family, but anyway, I feel like I'm babbling. So thank you, everybody that's here. I put some of you guys' comments up during the intro, and plus, I don't know if you could hear. I don't think you could. But I just started the intro when my brother called me back, so I talked to him for a minute. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm doing a live stream, but he understands. So anyway, let's see who all we've got in here. I know I saw Mr. Steve. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for popping in. I don't know how long you'll be able to stay or where you're at. I don't know if you're in Georgia, Florida, or somewhere on the road. I know I'm trying to get caught up on everybody's replays on Replay Crew, on Mr. Steve's channel, the Mob Crew, and everybody on Arctic Fox, everybody that I watch on a regular basis. Trying to get caught up. But I know I saw Mr. Steve. So hello, Mr. Steve. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have Mr. Steve in here. Miss Donna McIntyre is in here. Lance Jones is here, all the way from Canada. Good to have you here. Chris Gideon is here. Always good to have Chris here. I know I saw Michigan Wifey. There's Michigan Wifey, my OG, my original gal. Always a pleasure to have Miss Barbara Hall in here. Hello, Miss Barbara. Love and hugs to all you guys, as always. Cold Truth is here. Always a pleasure and an honor to have Miss Mel here too. I've also got to get over on her channel and everything to get caught up too. I'm just so behind. I'm so behind. Well, I was actually last 2-3 days I've been working while I'm sitting in the car waiting for orders to come up on Spark. Because I have my phone with me, because I have to do the Spark app is on my phone. So I'll just sit and start watching, try to get caught up on some replays of stuff that I missed. So that's how I keep occupied while I'm waiting for orders to come in. I knew I saw Mr. Steve. There's Mr. Steve. Please do check out True Crime Web. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite true crime channel. One of my, he and Mrs. Steve, two of my most favorite people in the world. Just love them so much and everything that they do to help these families. To go, anybody, unless you're new here, knows all about Mr. Steve and Mrs. Steve and the True Crime Web Foundation, and how he and his team go out and help these families with the cold cases and things of that nature. So please do check out True Crime Web. Please check out Cold Truth. And anybody in here with wrenches can put in True Crime Web link to his channel, Cold Truth's channel, anybody else in here's channel that I haven't got to yet. But it's good to see all y'all's beautiful faces, avatars in here. See if I make sure I haven't missed anybody. Yes, Lance, if it'll pop up, there it goes, says he was just telling Chris, and I've noticed it because you comment on when I post stuff on my, and is it just on my Facebook page or is it in the group too? But Lance is always telling me, because he's in Canada, that apparently none of the Facebook posts, especially if it's an article, are allowed in Canada for some reason. They won't come up. They come up, I guess, I'm assuming, as unavailable. And I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know. Admittedly, I don't know that much about Canada. And please tell me, I forgot, if you can hear me okay. I'm using a different mic. I'm using the mic from my earbuds. I'm hoping the sound quality is a little bit better, but just let me know if it's too loud, not loud enough. I'm assuming you guys can hear me, hopefully. Ooh, and a whole new batch of comments just came up. Now I got to get back down to where I was at. Okay, there we go. But I'm so sorry for Lance and anybody else that's in a different country if the articles, stuff I post on Facebook apparently is not allowed in Canada. Like I said, I don't understand it, but at any rate, thank you so much. And Miss Mel says, sorry for your loss. I know there's no good words. Yeah. It was just to digress just a little bit. And this is by no means going to be turn into a pity party, poor pitiful me, but just to explain why I haven't been on here for basically 2.5 weeks is, like I said, within exactly a week apart. So on July, I keep wanting to say, yeah, it was July. I said January earlier. July 21st, the last of what I consider the 3 best friends I ever had, starting from high school into adulthood, passed away unexpectedly in his sleep. And he's my age. We're, early 50s. So I had that shock, and then, so that was the 21st. And then around the 26th, around the 24th or 25th, because let me backtrack a little bit. I promise I'll get this over with and we can get on to business. But a couple of years ago, my baby and sister-in-law had a heart attack. Luckily, when her first heart attack happened, they were already at an urgent care clinic. They immediately called an ambulance, took her to the hospital. They put a stent in. Everything was good. And then about a year after that is when she's an amputee. She had to have her right leg amputated mid-calf. Never did figure out what was causing, what caused it. But she lost the blood flow and a bunch of, they did every test possible on her. Never figured out what caused it. But anyway, so she was dealing with that. Fast forward to the 24th of the 26th. She was having a little bit of chest and arm pain. So they called her heart doctor. I think she has been scheduled to have for an appointment for a checkup anyway. So she went early for her checkup. They found something wrong or something with the stent, so they went in and did just a minor, you know, granted nothing really is minor, you would say, when it comes to your heart, but just minor routine. They might have put in another stent or did something to the one that was in there. Thought everything was fine. Then a couple of days later, my brother had already gone to bed because he gets up at like 4 in the morning to go to work. So he said he went to bed about 9, and about 11 she came in, laid down in the bed, and she hadn't been laying down too long, and all of a sudden she said she was having chest and arm pains again. Well, of course, taking in account of her history, he immediately called the ambulance. They got there, took her to the hospital, and they said that she had a massive heart attack, major heart attack. So that he called me at I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. And so that when it got daylight, me and my mom went up to the hospital. Of course, the whole family, our family, our side of the family, her side of the family, got up, went to the hospital. And so the hospital they had taken her to was the closest one to where we live. So they were going to transfer her to a different hospital that had better, I can't use my words tonight. They were better equipped to deal with the heart attack. So they put her on, and I always want to say ecto because I think of the ectoplasm from Ghostbusters, but it was called an ECMO machine, which is basically kind of like and if there's anybody with medical knowledge in here, probably could explain it better, but it's basically like a temporary, kind of not really a heart bypass, but it kind of takes the place of the heart and lungs, distributes blood to the rest of the body to give your heart or lungs or both a chance to rest and hopefully heal. And so we thought, in our heads, hey, she's going to be all right, this is going to work. And then we got a call the next morning. So we spent that whole day up there with her, came home for the night. They wouldn't even let my brother stay up there with her because she was in a CCU, whatever the highest critical care unit is. So he could only stay till like 9 o'clock. So we all came home. He got up early and went back up there the next morning. He called us around between 7 and 8:30 and said, "You need to get up here right now." And he was crying. I could just tell something was wrong. And apparently the heart attack she had it damaged her heart so bad that the ECMO machine was just basically, and she was on a ventilator, was just basically keeping her alive. And so at that point, that Sunday, I believe, my brother and her dad and made the decision that we had to just let her go. And so that's my story of what's been happening around here the past couple of weeks. Like I said, I don't want to turn into a pity party, but I just wanted to explain my absence. And it was a shock. She was only 44 years old. So it's going to take me a while to get back into the groove. And so sometimes if I seem to, drift off or, seem like I'm not all here, I promise I am. I just still got things on my mind, but I'm going to do my best I can to get back into a routine, doing the Missing Person Monday videos, my True Crime Case of the Week, my missing videos I've been doing, try to do more live streams when I get a chance. So anyway, that's my story. And I just thank you all for being here. Once again, thank you for everybody who's reached out to me here on YouTube through my community posts and on Facebook and everywhere else. All your thoughts, prayers, and words are very appreciated by me and our whole family. So I appreciate it very much. All right. So I'm going to try to make it through. And I'm probably behind again in comments, so I'm going to get caught up again. Oh, and Mr. Steve had said, I forgot it said he loves the music. I'm assuming he's talking about the music I use for my long intro that I use for my live streams. Yeah, it's just that I do love it. It's just generic music that I found on I use the Power, was it called Power Director video editor that I use to like make my intros and stuff. I don't use it. I don't edit any of my videos that I upload. It's just what you see is what you get. But yeah, I do use it to put together like my intro videos and outro videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I love that music too. All righty. Once again, always a pleasure to have Miss Barb here. If I start repeating myself, I apologize. Chris says that he's seen stuff on Raleigh strain that confuses him. I'm so behind. I have not heard anything or had a chance to read anything about Raleigh's case in so long. About the last that I heard on Raleigh's case was, I guess they got the results back from the autopsy, said there was no water in his lungs, and whatever. Like I said, my brain is fried right now, but he had no water in his lungs, and he did not have his pants on or his boots. And I don't know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'll probably be getting a lot of stuff wrong tonight. And I just totally lost what I was going to say. They didn't find any substances in his system, I don't think. Maybe alcohol, but as far as illegal or anything suspicious, and I don't know. I remember what I was going to say. I don't know. I seem to remember that maybe the family was going to try to get an independent autopsy done. Once again, I could be wrong or confusing it with a different case. But yeah. So Chris, just you can elaborate on that. What's confusing you about it, and I will. We can all chat about it and see what's going on. Once again, thank you everybody who's putting in their thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to me. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, and then once again with the Lance saying about the posts not allowing in Canada, I don't understand. I wonder if it's like that in other countries, because I know I do have viewers on YouTube. I don't know about it on my Facebook page from different countries. So I don't know. I don't know if other countries are like that. Right. So Mr. Steve says that he is in Georgia for the next 48 hours, then on the road for a week or so. Excellent. And oh, by the way, there's apparently a hurricane Debbie that came through. I think it's back down to, I don't know what she is now, tropical storm, a depression, whatever, that's been wreaking havoc over there in Florida and Georgia and up the East Coast, the Carolinas. So I hope anybody in that part of the country that may be watching, I hope everybody is okay. I know when I watched, I think Mr. Steve, the last members only he did the other night, he was talking about it. It was right before the storm was going to hit Florida, because he had said that he might do a live stream or something during it if they didn't lose power. But like I said, I hope everybody is safe from the storms, from all the fires that are going on everywhere, the wildfires and everything else that's going on in the world. I just hope everybody is safe. So safe travels to Mr. Steve and whoever his team, whoever will be going out with him on the road. I don't know I can't remember if he said Ruckus was going with him this time or not. But just thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to Mr. Steve and the team while they're out on the road, boots on the ground, fighting the good fight for all these families. Yep, absolutely. Lance says life is just not fair, but we were never promised that life would be fair. Absolutely. You are correct. And as my brother said, which, we've always, we're a religious family, family of faith. And my brother said it best. He said, we're not promised tomorrow. God does not promise us tomorrow. So we got to spend as much time as we can with our family, friends, loved ones, and make every minute, every second count. That's what we got to do, because you never know. All right, Miss Mel says she's been taking a break. She's going to do Shannon Park next Friday. Sure wish Mr. Steve could swing into Prattville, Alabama, and stir things up. Oh, I'm sure he would stir things up. I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to get over there on your channel and get caught up. Oh, Chris said that Miss Mel makes beautiful avatars. Might have to get her to make me a new one. I found, for if anybody, let me shut my camera off for just a minute so y'all can see. It's the same one I used for my logo, but that's the new. I downloaded this app. It's called Toon Me, Toon Me, and that's what I came up with. I thought it came out decent. It's more me. It's got my shorter haircut I got now, and my glasses. The last one I had, I didn't have my glasses because that was a very old picture, a few years old picture that I was using for my avatar, my logo. But I think this came out decent. But you guys can let me know what you think about it. Okay, so Chris said, I'm gonna assume that, Chris, you're talking about oh wait, I missed some hold on, I missed some comments. I guess a new batch popped up while I was hold on. I'm trying to get back down to where I was. Apparently a whole batch of comments popped up and I didn't okay, there's the one that I was on. Okay, avatars. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know that name, Justin Trudeau. Lance says Justin Trudeau passed a law that makes it illegal to share a news story. Like I said, I know, as far as politics go, I know, or government, whatever, I know absolutely nothing about, because I'm admittedly, I don't get into politics. I just it's all too much for me. But I do vote, but other than that, I stay away from it. But I don't know why he or any president or whatever in any country or head of government would make it illegal to share news stories. I don't understand it. But I hate that for you. I really do. Honestly, I hate that because most of the things I share on my Facebook page and in the group are unsolved cold case stories and missing persons stories. So I just hate that those aren't getting out to everybody. There's James Tate. Always good to have Mr. James here. Says, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for everything you do for everyone else. Thank you so much. You are most welcome, Mr. James. Mr. James Tate. I just love y'all's whole family. Miss Barbara, you, Miss Marion. Some of my favorite peoples. I guess you can have favorite peoples that you've never even met in person, but you can. That is a good question. I was wondering that too. Miss Mel says that's so weird. Does there seem to be a pattern to the articles that you can't see? Is it a topic or certain media sites? That's what I was wondering. Because I would think that, I say once again, knowing absolutely nothing about the politics or what the goings on in Canada as far as that goes, you wouldn't think that, missing person stories or just cold case, unsolved, true crime stories would be that controversial. I can't talk. I can't use my words. Controversial. So yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness, Lance, I'm so sorry. Lance says my wife just passed away on Mother's Day without any warning. I'm so sorry. Thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to you, sir. Yep, it's hard. Let's say with these two that I had within an exact week of each other, both very unexpected and sudden. And it does, it's just, I think I'm actually just still kind of numb, still in shock. It hasn't, I mean, I know the truth of it, but it just still all seems surreal and like a dream. And, I wake up every morning, especially these last 2 or 3 days when I went back to work, because I do Spark. I do a little bit of DoorDash, but I do also Spark deliveries for Walmart, Shop and Delivers. And just recently, Brandy, who's my sister-in-law that passed away, she had started doing them too. So she was kind of my buddy. We was sitting there, sit in the Walmart parking lot and shoot the shide and wait for orders to come in. So there's so many times these last 3 days when I went back to work that I've picked up my phone to call her or text her to see if she's over there, because we work in the town over from where we live. And I pick it up and start texting or hit that dial, hit her, the contact to call her. And I'm just thinking, I can't call her. So it's hard, but yeah, thoughts, prayers, and good vibes going out to you, Mr. Lance. Thank you, James. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Chris says, I sure wish Mr. Steve could drop into Meriwether County, Georgia while he's there and dive into the Bermuda Triangle of the South. Yeah, I've been kind of studying up, and I think there's a Facebook group I'm in that's about the Bermuda Triangle of the South. So I'm gonna have to start diving into that a little bit and start doing some videos or live streams with some of those cases. But I have to get back to my Missouri cases. Get some more of those done. Yes, thank you, everybody. Everybody's giving thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to Lance. Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. That's very important to me. Thank you. Yes, Michigan Wifey is explaining the ECMO, and for some, like I said, I'm not, and I know Brandy would laugh at me for laughing about this, but every time I would go to say ECMO, I would remind me, like I said earlier, of ecto, like the ectoplasm from Ghostbusters. So I would always call it the ecto machine, but it's ECMO. But Michigan Wifey says ECMO is an amazing thing. It puts oxygen into the blood. My late husband had it before his lung transplant. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, she was on it for a day and a half, 2 days. But on that second day, that Saturday, because she passed away on the Sunday, the 28th, when they did the blood test or whatever they do to test they said her liver functions were down and just everything. It wasn't sustaining. So basically, they said the only reason to keep her on the ECMO machine was basically to see if there'd be any chance for her to get a heart transplant. But there's basically slim to none chance of that happening. And we knew that she would not have wanted to be on a machine for God knows how long. So she's in a lot better place than we are right now, in my opinion. So, but also thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to you, Michigan Wifey. I didn't know about your husband. Sorry, guys. I'll turn my camera back on in a minute, but I may periodically turn it off and on because I have my vape and I don't want to, do it on camera or trigger anybody. And I've been, I know vaping is just as bad for you as I smoked cigarettes actually since I think I started smoking when I was 16 or 17, and I smoked cigarettes up until about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, and then I switched to vaping. So, but anyway, I'll turn my camera back on here in a minute. We'll get caught up on comments. Plus, I look horrible, so I'm not looking my best, but Yeah, Miss Mel says way too young. Hopefully you at least get some answers as to what caused this. Yeah, it's like I said, 2 years ago she had the heart attack, and what it was, that first heart attack she had was what they called the widowmaker. But like I said, luckily, with the circumstances and God's hand on her, they were able to get her to the hospital and in surgery in time for the first one to get the stent in and everything. But with this, and when they went in, and I can't remember if I'm repeating myself, somebody just say, hey, you're repeating yourself. But when she went in, right before they went in and did the second surgery to either put another stent in or whatever they did, they said that she had had probably a series of mild heart attacks before that Saturday night when she had what they call the massive one. And they think that because like I said, she's an amputee, and that when she was going through all the problems with her leg, with her foot, they did every test known to man basically to try to figure out what was causing her not to get blood and oxygen and all this to her foot. And they never figured out what it was. But these doctors, after she had the first surgery, the first heart attack, and they put the stent in, they did, of course, more tests, and they think that she may have had some kind of clotting disorder in her blood, because that's why they had to, I believe, go in and do the second surgery to either replace the stent or put another one in or whatever they did, because her blood was clotting. So I don't know if that's what happened, just a big blood clot or whatever that just caused the massive heart, the massive one that took her. But yeah, it's definitely a shock. All right, Chris said, I'm assuming going back to Raleigh strain, he had 12 to 15 drinks. Yeah, that would not surprise me, because everything I've read about Raleigh is that the before they got to the Luke's bar, the one where he left from, and then walked away from his friends, or got separated from his friends from, they had been to, I think, 2, 3, maybe 4 other bars before that. And I'm sure, I'm sure, I would assume that they would have drinks at all those bars. So 12 to 15 does seem like a lot, but then again, when I was when I was, back in the day when I was in my teens and my 20s, I could put away a lot of alcohol. So I don't know, but like I said, 12 to 15 does sound like a lot, unless, I mean, if they were shots, maybe, because shots aren't that, a shot is a shot, but yeah, if there were 12 to 15 like full sized, either like beer or mixed drinks, that would seem a little excessive. Right, so a little bit more about these news stories in Canada. Lance says it is Justin Trudeau. He passed a law that makes sharing news stories against the law to protect the news company's business. Okay. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but to me, that doesn't make any sense. It's very irritating. Miss Barbara, going back to Raleigh, says that's a lot of drinks for someone that didn't drink alcohol often. I know a girl that went to school with him. He was not a drinker. Yeah, if he wasn't a drinker, I would definitely say 12 to 15 drinks. But then again, I don't know how long it was between, and they could have had drinks before they left their motel too, as a possibility. I don't know. But now 12 to 15 drinks spread out over, say, maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours, that wouldn't surprise me as much. But now it depends on how short or long of a time span, in my opinion, that he had these 12 to 15 drinks. If it was within say 1 to 2 to 3 hours, I would say, yeah, that to me, that would be a lot of drinks. But now if it was 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, that would make a little bit more sense to me. It's all perspective, I think, or time span. Yes, Michigan Wifey says they didn't say he had them at the last bar, right? I had heard they were drinking beforehand. Yes, see, I had heard, and once again, I try to get my information from respectable YouTube channels on here and respectable when I get on Google to search respectable news sources. I'd heard that they were drinking at the motel beforehand. Like I said, I'm going to just assume that they did have at least some drinks at these other 3 or 4 bars they went to before they got to Luke's bar. And they always reported that at Luke's bar, he had 1 alcoholic drink and 1 glass of water, I believe, is all he had at Luke's bar. So, yeah, it would be nice to know. And you would think that all these bars because with cameras and surveillance cameras everywhere these days, you would think that these bars would have surveillance cameras or, video CCTV inside of them, and that they could go look at if they if they keep their footage. Could have and they might have went and looked back to see, to find them at these other bars and see maybe if they were talking to somebody that wasn't with their group, or just to see how many drinks he had, and things of that nature. And they might have done that, and I just have forgotten that I read it, or and Chris says he was drinking during the trip to Nashville. Yeah, once again, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, because I was a wild child. I admit it. I was a wild child in my teens and in my younger years. I would expect them to be drinking during the trip to Nashville. I mean, you got college kids, for the not all of them, but a lot of, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of college kids do their fair share of drinking. So I would expect them, to have been drinking during the trip to Nashville. Yeah, but that does, if he wasn't, like Miss Barbara says, I know he was drinking when he went on that trip, but he doesn't normally drink. He's not a big drinker. Yeah, if he wasn't a big drinker, that is concerning. But once again, and this is all just my opinion, um, peer pressure or wanting to fit in with the crowd, especially when you're in college. And I don't know, forgive me, I don't know what year he was in college. You may tend to, when you get around a group of your peers, your friends, you may do things that you wouldn't normally do on a regular basis, such as drink a lot. So that could have had something to do with it, just my opinion. Thank you very much. Chris said, congrats on 800 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I think last time I checked, it was up to 811 or 812, I believe. So we're getting closer to that 1,000 mark. We can do it. Or if we don't, we don't. I love my little community I have here. I love all you guys. Absolutely. Yeah, Lance says it's a reasonable hypothesis. Y'all using making me say these big words tonight. It is a reasonable hypothesis that if he was drinking, he may have lost his balance and fallen, striking his head. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. James. Thank you, Mr. James. Yes, Miss Barbara says, I would like to understand how he lost his boots. Yes, that has also been not a point of contention, but a debate about because he was found when he was found in the river. He did not have his boots on, and if I remember correctly, he did not have his pants. All he had on was his shirt, I believe, and maybe the underwear, and maybe the watch. Now I do know, and I don't know how big. Just from what the pictures I saw in the footage I saw when all of this was going on with Riley. The Cumberland River is a pretty big river, but now I don't know how fast the current is. Now I know if the current is fast enough, it is possible to take shoes off, boots off, clothing off, but I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. So I don't have an answer for that. Yep. Lance says God is calling back all the really good ones young, it would seem. Yep. Yep. We as we said we had her celebration of life for my sister-in-law this past Saturday. And that's what we said, because a lot of us got up and spoke and relayed memories and thoughts and stuff. And but God, yeah, well, that's what we said. God has a plan for her, a reason that he called her so soon. We may not understand it right now, but he will let us know in his time what his plan for her is. And I know he has got a plan for her, because she was, like I said, we were a family of faith. She loved her church family, and so I have no doubt that God has a plan. God has a plan. He'll let us know in his time what it is. Oh goodness. Lance says the hospital actually took his wife. It says they gave her blood thinners to treat the heart attack. That was the result of a heart attack injury. She bled on the brain. The hospital just said, oops, mistake. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's heartbreaking enough, but when it's something that I'm assuming could, or not assuming, most definitely probably could have been prevented, just makes it all that much harder. No, she did not. Lance asked if she had the vaccine. No, she did not. Nope. But yeah, I have heard of complications from the vaccine. I didn't know about the blood clots, but no, she did not have the vaccine. Miss Mills said, my girl's dad had a blood clot that started in his leg, pulmonary embolism. It sounds similar to you. Yeah, and right before she started having trouble with the leg that she eventually had to have amputated mid-calf, they did find a blood clot right behind her knee. They gave her blood thinners and whatever they do to get rid of it. But then after that is when she started having all the problems with her foot, and then eventually had to have the amputation, and then it just went downhill from there. Now she had her first heart attack before that blood clot. But I'm sure it's all connected somehow, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't, but I would assume that it's all connected somehow, the reasoning. Absolutely. Miss Mel said that absolutely unacceptable about what Lance said about his wife. Absolutely. I agree. All right, going back to Riley, Chris said the pants are easily explained. Is that if he wasn't wearing a belt, he tried to grab his pants, but if he was, then that's more confusing. And I can't remember. I think they said he was wearing a belt. Now, once again, absolutely, you guys know you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think they did say that at one point he had started out wearing a belt. Now, whether it came off sometime before he went into the water, or at some point during the night before then, I don't know. But all very, very good questions. So we got the pants that were missing, and the boots. And I'm assuming they're cowboy boots. Like I said, a lot of people, I'm not saying anybody here, but a lot of people underestimate the power of water. Um, just for example, the Hurricane Debbie, or whatever she is now, look how much, and she was just like a category 1, I think, when she made the first landfall in Florida. But then she went across Florida and then made another landfall around the Carolinas and dumped all that rain. And it's just the power of water is terrifying. I am terrified of water. Now, when I was a kid, I swam like a fish. We grew up swimming in the mini ponds and in the reservoirs, and then if we were lucky, you know, one of my aunts, one of the richer aunts, had a swimming pool, and maybe once a month or once a week or so, every other week during the summer when we were kids, we would get to go over to my rich aunt's house and swim in the swimming pool. But as I've grown older, water terrifies me. Absolutely terrifies me. It is so powerful. Um, yes. Miss Mel says just make sure, going back to my sister-in-law, if they have kids, to get them tested. Some clotting disorders are hereditary, but with the right treatment. They do have a child, but my nephew, he is adopted. So they don't have any. They had, they did in vitro. She did get pregnant once. I think they did 2 rounds of in vitro. But the one she ended up losing, so they didn't have any biological kids. That's what I'm getting at. But yes, and then I don't know. I'll have to ask my brother if her side of the family had any issues with blood clotting disorders, because that's what, like I said, what the doctors who are treating her this time, or who started treating her after she had her first heart attack, that was their thing, was that she had some kind of weird, either some kind of weird condition that 1 in a million that nobody has ever heard or came across before, or is just some kind of clotting disorder that was rare, or they just missed, although I don't see how they could have missed it with all the testing they did. But yeah, no, their one child they had is adopted. So yes, Chris said the bigger question is, did someone hurt Riley? Yep, that is the question. It is. Absolutely. Lance says water will take your life really quickly in a single moment. Absolutely. That is my, not to be try not to be morbid, but everybody has I'm assuming that, everybody has at least 1 or 2 or more ways that you don't want to leave this earth. And my 2 ways that I absolutely know that I don't want to leave this earth is by water or by fire. So yeah, it's just, hopefully, if God allows, I'm lucky, I will just, whenever it's my time, I will go peacefully in my sleep, and that'll be it. Miss Barbara says you should see the water they talk about where Timmy was found. They act like it's a raging creek and there's hardly any. Yes, absolutely. I've seen, I don't know if I've seen pictures, but from what I've read and listened to you talk, that to me, that doesn't seem like it was even what we call a creek around here, which is, and you can have creeks that are fairly large, but yeah, it just doesn't seem, yeah, like you said, they act like it's a raging creek, hardly any water. Yeah. Yeah. And Miss Barb says it was 3 days after it rained. Yes. I'm with you there. Lance said, as an older and wiser man, I avoid things that are dangerous like water and fire. Me too, sir. Me too. So Miss Mill says that her daughter had a bleeding disorder. So when her hematologist wanted to run the panels for a clotting disorder because of her dad, I had a bit of a freak out. I couldn't believe so you could have a bleeding disorder and a clotting disorder. Yeah, that does seem because that's like two totally opposite conditions. Yeah, that is very very frightening. All right, I think I'm caught up on comments. So I know I'm trying to think of oh my goodness, his name just flew out of my head. They found in Texas. Guys, please help me. In Corpus Christi. Oh goodness, I'm telling you, my mind. I keep wanting to say Raleigh, but it's not Raleigh. It's the young man that disappeared from Corpus Christi. They found him or his remains. Still trying to get that figured out. I can't believe his name just popped out of my head. Turn my camera back on for a minute. Oh my goodness, what's his name? Come on, guys, help me. Disappeared from his apartment. My mind is a blank. We'll have to come back to it. Chris said, did I see where they found and arrested a very bad serial crook? You have to give me a little bit more than that. I don't. What's the name on it, or where was it at in the name? Yes, thank you, Chris. Caleb Harris. Thank you, Chris. Caleb Harris. Yes, I know that's happened. I think I actually did a short video when they found his remains. Just uploaded a video, but I don't think I've done a live stream since they found Caleb. So I don't know if there's anything new with that. But it might just, in that case, in my opinion, he went down that manhole that was uncovered. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't know. But in my opinion, that's where he went in. Now, whether it was accidental or somebody put him there, that is my question. But apparently, once again, not to get too graphic or morbid, with the condition of the remains, which is basically, I'm assuming, mainly skeletal, just from the remains they had, they said there was no obvious signs of foul play. But now, you can have foul play that would not leave any marks on bones. You got strangulation, you got any, I was going to say blunt force trauma, but depending on where the blunt force trauma would be. Now, if it was on the head, you would assume most certainly be able to see that. And then maybe on some of the other bones, if there was any kind of blunt force trauma. And then even on the bones, if it was an edged weapon, sharp object, if it happened to nick a bone, they can see the nicks in the bone. But like I said, I'm way behind on Caleb's. If anything new has come out about that too. Yes, thank you, Miss Barbara. She also, Harris, Caleb Harris. Yes, absolutely. Lance says strangulation will often break the hyoid bone. Absolutely. And I'm wondering if they found 100% of a skeleton or just most of it. Or I mean, I haven't heard, or if they've even released publicly how much. I would assume maybe, except for maybe smaller bones, which the hyoid bone, I believe, is a smaller bone. But yeah, if they had those skeletal remains, yeah, you would most definitely could tell, because most of the time the hyoid bone is broken. All right, so I can put my thing up there. So anything else going on? Delphi, I'm assuming it's still a circus. I just stay away from that. I just want Justice for Abby and Libby. I don't even, unless like Mr. Steve or somebody does something on Delphi, which he does. That's about all, or maybe Chris from the Mob Crew, or select other very few channels on here that I trust and watch. Unless they do anything on the Delphi case, I don't watch it. I don't know what's going on. I stay away from the drama. So I don't know I mean, I know there's a lot of court drama going on with it, so, or lawyer drama, or defense and prosecution drama, and judge drama. So I just stay away from that. I don't know what has anything been going on in Kohlberger, Idaho 4 case. I haven't been keeping up with that. Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, Lance says so much evil in the world these days. All the cases, so many. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we will get into, like I said, I've got some missing persons, just stuff that I'd saved in my web browser on my phone that I needed to clean out. So I just kind of put an amalgamation together of a few to talk about that I thought were important. That, because anybody, unless you're new here, know that on my channel I try to cover or share the cases that aren't getting the national attention. So I had found a few stories that haven't got a lot of national attention. Oh, I do know that they found, once again, her name, Maria, the one missing from Georgia. They found her alive. Because there's two different cases with the little girls named Maria that Maria Felipe Alonso, that's the one that has not been found, but the other, Maria Gomez Perez, they found her. So I was so absolutely ecstatic they found her alive. Now, I don't know. We don't know what happened to her while she was missing. Just thoughts, prayers, and good vibes, but at least she was found alive. So that was some good news that has happened since I've been away. Chris said the one arrested is Warren Luther Alexander. I have not heard of him. What state or where is he from, or where did it occur in? I have not heard about that one. All right, so all right, so first we have a little bit of, well, not a little bit, very sad news. Which Joshua Graham-Caskey, which I had shared him numerous times, because for one, he's a missing person, and that's what I do here. But the last time that he had been seen, because he went missing from Winterset, Iowa, but the last time he was caught on surveillance camera or surveillance video was in Mena, Arkansas. So of course I kind of paid a little bit more attention to it. But unfortunately, they did find, they found his car, and I'll read the article, but they ended up finding his car in a body of water, and he was inside of it, obviously deceased. Not the outcome we wanted, but at least they did find him, and his family can get some closure. So I just have a short article, and this is from, when was it from? August the 6th. A missing Winterset man found deceased in Arkansas. And just to give you, I think I have the picture. Let me find it. How far Winterset is from Mena. Did I upload it? Yes, there it is. On this, the very top of the blue line is Winterset, Iowa. And down at the bottom where the red is Mena, Arkansas. So it's about a little bit over 8 hours. If you go the dark blue route. Now, because I know they said that he had stopped somewhere in Oklahoma, I believe, to visit his or talk to his mother. And I'm just going to assume that if he went to Oklahoma, he may have taken that lighter blue route there to the left. As you're looking at it on the screen, there to the left of the dark blue route, because that goes into Oklahoma, and then it curves back to the east, back into Arkansas to Mena. So he could have taken that other route if he went to Oklahoma and then headed back east and ended up in Mena. Now, I don't know, but that's just what I would assume. So I just want to show you that, just to give you an idea of how far it is from Winterset, Iowa to Mena, Arkansas. So if you go one route, it's a little bit over about 8 hours and 15 minutes. And if you went the other route that went through Oklahoma, it would be almost 9 hours. So anyway, back to the article. So an Iowa man who was reported missing in January was found deceased Sunday in an Arkansas lake. Joshua Graham-Caskey, 25, was reported missing on January 18th. Police say his phone, which was left behind in Winterset, placed a 911 call around the time that he was last seen. His green Ford Taurus was pinged, so I'm assuming they went off the GPS system in the car. Was pinged, traveling south throughout that day, including once in Locust Grove, Oklahoma. Oh, it's the town where his aunt lives, not his mother. The town where his aunt lives. After that, his vehicle was last seen on video at a gas station in Mena, Arkansas on January 19th. Sunday, the Howard County, Arkansas Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a vehicle found in Gillum Lake, which is approximately 30 minutes south of Mena. A dive team recovered the vehicle, which was identified as Joshua's Ford Taurus, and his body was found in the vehicle, according to the sheriff's office. And authorities say there is no evidence of foul play. So, what are your guys' thoughts? Let me get back to comments. What are your guys' thoughts on? I would, just for my unprofessional, but I try to use my critical thinking and logic skills that I've learned from watching people such as Mr. Steve and all the other professionals out there. We all know that, I mean, if he was driving maybe late at night after dark, not familiar with the area, it is very easy, we all know, to go into bodies of water. And I don't know, I'll admit, I do not know that much about Mena, Arkansas. It's not an area of Arkansas that I go to. I may have passed through a couple of times going somewhere else, maybe down to Louisiana or whatever. But so I don't know how close or far to a roadway that this lake is. And I should have, if I would have had my full brain, and I would have tried to find this Lake Gillum to see how far it was from the roadway, to see how easy it would be to be driving down the road and go into the body of water. That would be my first top of my list on what happened. But like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't know. But just you guys can let me know what you guys think. Oh, Mr. Steve has words of wisdom as always. Going back to Timmy D's. Mr. Steve said the feeder creek where Timmy was found feeds into Village Creek. This feeder creek is a limited watershed and flow rate is minimal. Average depth is less than 1 foot. Absolutely. That's what I was thinking, that I'd read somewhere or heard somewhere, maybe from Mr. Steve, that this creek, I mean, the creek in some place, because we do have a creek that runs through our land, our farmland that we own. And some places of it are, it's not deep, maybe 2 to 3 feet deep, maybe. Now, there may be places in it where it goes where it crosses the road and goes into the fields. The farmers use it to irrigate their farmland, their crops. In places like that, it may be 4 to 5, maybe 6 feet deep, but for the most part. But this, yeah, if it was flow rate was minimal and average depth is less than 1 foot, there's no way. Yeah, to me, that is a ditch. I mean, less than a ditch. I mean, we have ditches in front of our house that are, I mean, that are maybe a foot or 2 feet, 2 feet. You know, if they're full, if we get a lot of rain. So yeah, this creek they're talking about, in my opinion, is not a creek. It'd be more like a ditch. Um, it's just awful, awful. And not to give a whole lot away because I've got to get back with a certain lady, but hopefully, being as we're talking about Timmy D's, hopefully sometime this coming week, I will have a special live stream with a special guest to talk about some developments or some things that obviously other people knew, but I just been so behind and I happened to come across on Facebook. But I've got to get back with this person and iron out a time and a date. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited, very excited. And hopefully if I get a hold of another person, another creator, maybe having a co-host that night too, but I've got to get with that creator. So stay tuned for next week, maybe towards the end of next week, but I will definitely let you guys know whenever we get things worked out. Okay, Chris said, going back to the Luther, the one he had crimes in California in the 1970s. Right, I will look into that. Oh, no apologies, Lance. He may not still be here. He says he has to go. Thank you, Lance, for joining. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir, all the way from Canada. And I still hate that you can't get the news stories in Canada. But thank you, I almost called you James. That's my nephew's name, my youngest nephew's name, Lance. Thank you for being here, sir. Always good to have everybody here. Oh, did James have to leave too? He said good night, everyone. Oh goodness, bunch of comments popped up. I don't know if James is leaving too, but thank you, James, for being here. He said good night, everyone. Always a pleasure to have that whole family. The Mr. James, Miss Barbara, Miss Marion. I haven't seen Miss Marion. She may be with the grandbabies, possibly. If she is, I don't blame her one bit. If this past 2 weeks, week and a half has taught me anything, it's you spend all the time you can with your family. Oh, Miss Mel. Yes, ma'am. I have not watched it yet, but Miss Mel said, speaking of Arkansas and Oklahoma, has anyone here watched At Wit's End on Hulu? It is really good. 1998 Cold Case of Melissa Witt. I'm planning on watching it, maybe starting tonight after I get done with this live stream, depending on how late we go. It's already, I've only been on here a little bit over an hour. We're doing good. Yes, the Melissa, of course, I'm, for anybody who doesn't know, once again, I'm sure everybody knows that's here, that's commenting at least. I know, knows that I'm from Arkansas. So obviously, Melissa Witt case is one of my cases. It's right here for me, right here. Melissa's case, Morgan Nick case, but yes, our local news the other day when they were talking about this new Hulu documentary about Melissa's case, I got so excited. I do have Hulu, so if you're interested in this case, or if you have never heard of this case, if you have Hulu, I haven't watched it yet, but hopefully it's going to be good. So yes, I'm definitely going to be, and I think I did look at it, and I think it is maybe four 4 different episodes, 4 or 5. And they're each about 45 minutes to an hour apiece. So I might stay up all night binge watching it tonight. But yes, thank you for bringing that up, Miss Mel. And I do have a Melissa Witt playlist. I have done, actually her case, if you want to go back and watch the video I did, but there are much better videos. Because actually her case was one of the first cases that I shared when I started my channel and started doing just videos before I even started doing live streams. Now I have done some live streams where I have talked about Melissa's case. But if anybody wants to go back and watch what I've shared about Melissa's case, I do have a playlist. But yes, I'm very, very excited about this new Hulu documentary. And I'm also perplexed, and I have got to dive into it, and I can't remember the name of the channel. But the only thing, as far as, and maybe Miss Mel, you can know something about this. Now I read the first book, and I watched the Uneven Ground documentary that LaDonna Humphrey did. She has covered Melissa's case extensively, but from what I'm seeing, I haven't watched it yet. And like I said, I can't remember the name of the channel. Apparently there's some shady shenanigans or something that is going on with LaDonna Humphrey and her coverage of, I don't know if it's just Melissa's case or other cases. So which if it's true, it's really going to disappoint me, because I've been a fan of LaDonna Humphrey, but if some of these little tidbits that I've just kind of read are true, anyway, sorry to go off on a tangent, but yeah, I'm going to have to, and I said I cannot remember the name of the channel. So if anybody can help me out, if I'm making any sort of sense right now, which I'm probably not, this channel, and it's a channel I think I've heard of before, but I don't think I've ever watched. But yeah, they've done several episodes regarding LaDonna Humphrey, and doesn't sound good just from the little things that I've read. But like I said, I'm not familiar with the channel, so I don't know how if you take it if it's one of those channels you take with a grain of salt, or if it's, so anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's Melissa's case is one that is close to my heart, like I said, along with Morgan Nick. I think as far as Arkansas cases go, those are 3 cases that I just so want to know just the truth, regardless of what the truth is Morgan's case, Melissa's case, and West Memphis 3. If I could just know the truth about those, I could die a happy woman. Of course, there's other cases that that aren't Arkansas related. I might have to do a live stream on that. Other cases too, or do a poll, or do a community post and have you guys comment on what cases, nationwide or worldwide, that you guys want to know the answer to. Another one not Arkansas related is JonBenet Ramsey for me. JonBenet Ramsey. The little girl that disappeared in. I'm sorry, guys. My brain's not working. It'll come to me. It was in a foreign country. I think her parents were British. It'll come to me. If I stop thinking about it, it'll pop in my head. Yes, absolutely. Chris says Melissa's case is crazy. Yes, it's horrible. Horrible. Yes. Miss Mel says, reminds me of Shannon Polk. Too many viable suspects with no answers. Yeah. And I think, excuse me, in this new documentary, and I don't know if it's in the new documentary, but I know that's one of the things that, because LaDonna Humphrey had just written her 3rd book about Melissa's case and said that they had some what they called new information about a name that they found in Melissa's diary that I think, and I don't know if it's the same one because I mentioned a person's name that they found in her diary, and then they have I read another article, or maybe it was in one of LaDonna's Humphrey, her third book, is that there was somebody that was known to her, I think known to her, who possibly had her, because when she always wore a Mickey Mouse watch, and when they found her body, she did not have the Mickey Mouse. Her Mickey Mouse watch was missing. One of her earrings was missing. They found one of the earrings in the parking lot where she was abducted from. Now she was found in the Ozark National Forest, but her other earring was missing, and her Mickey Mouse watch was missing. And supposedly somebody, a male, they have not given his name because obviously he's not been charged with anything. So they've not released his name publicly, but supposedly he basically confessed or admitted to his roommate that he was the one that was responsible for Melissa, and that he had her Mickey Mouse watch. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know, and I don't know if they're going to cover that in this Hulu documentary, but hopefully they will, because I really want to know. All right, let's get caught up in comments again, and we'll get back to yes, going back to Timmy. Miss Barbara says, yes, it is a ditch to me. I've seen where he was found. Yes, to me, yeah, from what Mr. Steve said, it's, a foot is what, about, I know you guys can't see, a foot is about, yay. Yeah, the ditches in front of my house, when we get a lot of rain, we can get 2 feet of water in the dishes in front of our house. So yeah, a foot of water, that is nothing. A foot of water is nothing. I mean, you can drown in 6 inches of water, but yeah, no, I've never, from everything that I've researched and what Miss Barbara said about Timmy's case, I've never bought the fact that he just lay down in this ditch and it was water, and he either, they claim he was doing substances, and that's when he just lay down, or just lay down and passed away. No. I've never bought that for a second, and I know Miss Barbara has it, and I know most people have it, or most reasonable people have it. But yeah, a foot of water, yeah, no. Oh, are you talking about? Miss Mel says, "Oh wow, I watched it all in one night." Are you talking about the new Hulu documentary? Yeah, I think I looked at it on Hulu, and I think it's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Mel. I think it was 4 episodes, and each episode was anywhere from 45 to an hour. But yeah, so you basically, what, maybe 4 hours? Yeah, I could do that easy. I mean, I could, if I have time, like when I'm used to work for caregiving. Well, actually, not when I was working for caregiving, because I hardly ever took vacation time. But when I was working for Wally World for 15 years, unless we just had a trip, family trip or something planned, when I would take a vacation time, that's what I would do, is for that 7 days that I would take for vacation time, I would sit and binge watch, and it would be nothing for me to do 8, 10, 12 hours of binge watching a show or documentaries or whatever it was that I was binge watching. So yeah, I could, 4 hours would be nothing for me. Like I said, I'll probably do it tonight. Probably do it tonight, and then have to get up and go work tomorrow, but that's all right. Miss Mills said, was she the media lady that was featured in the documentary? Are you talking about Melissa? I don't know. I haven't watched, I haven't watched the documentary yet. If you're talking about LaDonna Humphrey, she is, let's see if I can find, she is I don't think she was she was a journalist, maybe not a journalist, an author, a private investigator. Um, let me see. Let me hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Hopefully, I won't put this into a dumpster fire. Look, I made it almost an hour and a half in. That's the first time I've mentioned dumpster fire. Y'all should be proud of me. If I can get my computer to work, I'm trying to find. It's gonna be pecking away on my keyboard. Oh, I can't spell. Turn my camera off for a minute. Okay, so this, let me see if it will, hold on. See if it will let me screen share. Let me take this down for a second. Figure out what I'm doing. I'm telling you, I'm rusty, guys. See if it'll share. All right. That is LaDonna Humphrey. See now, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Yeah, you can see my cursor here on this one. It says the legal saga of LaDonna Humphrey, but it's got something. Oh, and that is, and over here, if you can see my cursor on the Reddit, on this Reddit, Who's Afraid of LaDonna Humphrey? That is the name of the episodes that this channel, YouTube channel, that's the name of their episodes that they've done on LaDonna Humphrey that I've not watched yet, but I've got to. But Miss Mel, I don't know. That's a picture of her. I don't know if that's the same one. I'm trying to find just a description. I guess we can go to her website right quick. Okay, it says LaDonna Humphrey is an award-winning writer, documentarian, investigative journalist, executive director, and an advocate for victims of crime. So I would assume that media would cover that. So I don't know if that's the one that's in the documentary or not. Go back to comments and see. Thank you, Madeline McCann. That's the other one I was trying to think of that went missing in the I forget the country. Yes, Madeline McCann. I want to know the truth about that one too. I have my thoughts on it, but yes, Madeline McCann. Thank you once again, Chris, for saving me. Madeline McCann. Yes, that is yes. I want to know about JonBenet Ramsey, and I want to know about Madeline McCann. Oh, I love that channel. Miss Mel said, Burn After Reading has great coverage on West Memphis 3. Yes, I think I've watched I think that I binge watched or listened to everything they did on West Memphis 3. I love Burn After Reading. Yes, ma'am. But she says, he sent me the huge case file. I've spent hours reading and listening to things in it, barely scratched the surface. I got stuck in Eccles. Yes. Damien Eccles psychiatric. That is a whole other can of worms in itself. I have to admit, I mean, obviously, I don't know who did it, whether it was the ones that were convicted, the West Memphis 3, or somebody else, but I've never been a huge fan of Damien Eccles, or actually either of Eccles, Miss Kelly, or Baldwin, because I've tried to look at both sides of it, the case for them being innocent, the case for them being guilty, and everything in between. They were not, I mean, they weren't the most horrible 3 individuals on this planet, but they were not nice guys, because when you dig into things that happened before the boys got killed, all 3 of them had extensive I know Damien had extensive psychiatric problems and a criminal history, and I believe Or Miss Kelly, Jesse Miss Kelly did. I don't know about Jason Baldwin, but you know, I'm not, that doesn't make them guilty, but I'm just saying I've never, especially of Damien, I've never been a big fan of Damien. Like I said, that doesn't make them guilty or make me sway my decision one way or another about their guilt or innocence. But yeah, Damien does have some problems, and in my opinion, he this is just all my opinion. He played it up, and uh things that he has done after that they were released, and just not a fan, not a fan. Yes. Oh, Lance is back. Well, welcome back, Lance. Good to have you back, sir. Oh, Miss Mel said she was up till 3 a.m. Sounds like me when I start either binge watching or doing research or whatever it is I'm doing. Chris is telling Miss Mel that he knows a case involving a certain person that I would be interested in. Okay, Miss Mel said she does not think that's the same lady. Okay, so it's not LaDonna Humphrey. Okay, like I said, I haven't watched it yet. So, Chris, I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else, referring to Ridley Scott. I know who Ridley Scott is. He's a good director. Is he still alive or did he pass away? I know I loved. I think the Alien movies were the first movies I saw that he directed, and he has a brother, I believe. Chris says on the WM3 he suspects Terry Hobbs. A case can be made for Terry Hobbs. Yes, a case can be made for Terry Hobbs, but I think I've actually watching Miss Mel mentioned the Burn After Reading. Some of the information, because when this evidence came out that they found a hair that was how they put it, similar to Terry Hobbs, and then they found a hair that was similar to David Jacoby, who was friends with Terry Hobbs. People say, "Oh, that it's a lock." They're for one, it could be secondary transfer. And I'm trying to think of the term that Mr. Steve has used, the law of something about transferring. You leave traces. And I don't even know if Mr. Steve is still here. It's the law of something. He was talking about it on one of his live streams. But anyway, it could be secondary transfer. Because the boys spent time together. They were in each other's houses. And then after I listened, binge watched all the Burn After Readings, and I do have the website that they got a lot of their information and official documents from. The kind of DNA that they got from the hair that they said could be Terry Hobbs and could be David Jacoby's is not. Of course, nothing is 100% reliable, but it is not, from what I understand, not as reliable as people are trying, the people who make the case that West Memphis 3 are innocent. It's not as reliable as people would want you to think. Now that, I'm in no way saying that, I don't know, that, but yeah, you have to take that. I've learned you have to, because when that first came out, I was one of those it's the hair. It could be Terry Hobbs. It's, and David Jacoby, it's a lock. Except for that, I knew about the secondary transfer. But then like I said, watched the, what kind of, and I forgot the name of the specific kind of DNA it was that they got from it, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to take it with a grain of salt. That's the point I was trying to make. Very long way around, as usual. Yes. Miss Mel says, hopefully you watch it soon so we can talk about it. Yes. And I plan on doing, because I've done, you guys that have been here with me. Thank you. Mr. Steve is still here. Yes. The cards exchange principles. See, Mr. Steve, I did pay attention. I know it has to do with if you leave something at a crime scene, or yes, I was paying attention. Yes. The cards exchange principle. That's it. But yes, I have done, or been talking about doing a series of videos, just discussing, or probably live streams, because I want to discuss it, be able to discuss it with you guys. The first one I did was just covering the basic crimes. The second one I had planned is just kind of discuss the family, where they were, what they were doing, supposedly doing during, the night the boys disappeared. What has happened to their family members since, because guys, a lot of the parents and step parents have passed away since the boys were killed. So hopefully soon, and I'll wait till I watch. Oh, hold on, wrong case. We're talking about Melissa Witt. Scratch that. But yes, I will watch the documentary, and I will do a live stream to discuss that Melissa's case. Sorry, I was hung up on West Memphis 3 there for a minute. After Mr. Steve said the Lacard's exchange principle, but yes, absolutely. When I binge watch Melissa Witt case, we'll definitely have a live stream to discuss it. And maybe Miss Mel could come on. Either I could come on her channel, she could come on my channel, and we could do or anybody else who wants to come up on panel to discuss it. Because I'm nervous about bringing people on my channel, because my farm signal, as I call it, is very sketchy, and I would hate to be in the middle, have a guest on or a co-host or whatever, because I'm very nervous about this thing. Hopefully this is going to happen this coming week. Hopefully my signal will hold out for that, but it is what it is. But yes, I definitely want to, after I watch this documentary, definitely do some discussion about Melissa's case. Yes, that's what I was trying to take something, leave something. Yes. Thank you, Miss Mel. She said Holman said that early on in regard to Abby and Libby, take something, leave something. Yes, that is the gist, I believe, of the Lacard's exchange principle. That's what I was trying to get at. I couldn't find my words once again. Take something, leave something. Absolutely. Oh, Chris said that's not what makes him suspect Todd. Yes, there are other things that make me, that there are other things that Terry Hobbs has done in his past, and things that have been said about him and how he treated, that could be taken into consideration. Absolutely. I'm not just basing that on the hair, possible hair. Absolutely. Miss Mel says she's down for either or both. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Let me hold on. Figure out what I'm doing here. Stop sharing that and put my. There we go. Okay. So we talked about Joshua Caskey. So once again, thoughts, prayers, good vibes going out to Joshua's family. See what we got next. This is, take this down so I can read it. This is from July 25th. This is from Columbus, Georgia. Adrian Black, 17, was last seen on Sunday, July 21st at around 11 p.m. in the 4000 block of Harbin Street, slightly over a mile from where Buena Vista Road meets Interstate 185. Anybody familiar with Georgia, that might make sense to you. Police say Adrian has brown hair and blue eyes, and anyone with information is asked to call 911. the CPD Special Victims Unit at 706-225-3449, or lead investigator Corporal Cassandra Mamie at 706-225-4173. All right. Start my cam back. I always forget to turn my camera back on. Chris said mails should be called airport signal. Anything is probably better than my farm signal. All right. So let me get a drink. Once again, I was just waving my cup in front of the camera. I'm sorry, that was rude. So this is an Arkansas missing, Mr. Clyde Holmes. I haven't checked in a couple of days. I don't think anything new. Let me check right quick. Bear with me once again. I'm working on the fly here. I don't think anything new has come out. No, okay. Let me find his article. So this is Clyde Holmes. He was last seen on July 19th of this year, 41 years old. I should have downloaded my slideshow. 5'10". He was last seen leaving his residence, and this article has more information. Actually, I think I have two articles. Oh, hold on. I'm fixing to have a dumpster fire. 1 second. Okay, we're back. I forgot to plug in my charger to my laptop, and my laptop almost died. This is from July 22nd. Get all the ads out of the way. The family of a Little Rock man is speaking out after he was reported missing more than a week ago. Authorities say 41-year-old Clyde Holmes was last seen in Little Rock on July 10th. His truck was found in Newton County, which is quite a ways away from Little Rock. And I thought I had a gnats flying around. Sorry, I'm getting rid of swatting ads. But Newton County is a good ways away from Little Rock. It jumped on me. Get back to where I was. His truck was found in Newton County on July 11th. It was later searched by police on July 19th, but no information was found from the truck. According to Holmes' aunt, Deborah Green, it is not in Holmes's nature to not respond to his family, which is why they are so worried and trying to find answers. Then she says, point 2 is that his cell phone was found in his apartment, so there is no way of contacting him. It was left on his charger in his apartment. Authorities have been conducting a ground search with canine teams, but he does remain missing. When you don't know a situation and what has happened to your loved one, it is a whole other set of trauma. Absolutely. Green says that she misses him dearly and is worried for his safety. She is urging anyone with information to call the police. She says, Holmes, if you're watching, just give us a call. Give one of us a call. Let us know you're okay. It doesn't matter the situation. We will come get you. According to Green, police have been getting tips and following every lead, but they have not found anything that sticks or helps them get closer to finding Mr. Holmes. And he also goes by Clyde Boatwright, or Clyde Boatwright Jr. and Clyde Holmes. His aunt goes on to say, I just know that Sheriff Wheeler and Detective Boyd are doing all that they can, and we certainly appreciate it. He is 5'10". What I say, he's 41 years old, with black dreadlocks. It is unknown what he was wearing when he went missing. Newton County Sheriff Glenn Wheeler asked Newton County residents to contact his office at 870-446-5124 if they have seen Mr. Holmes anywhere in Newton County since July 10th. And anyone with possible information about the investigation can contact the Newton County Sheriff's Office or the Little Rock Police Department detectives at 501-404-3016. So that is an Arkansas missing that I wanted to share. And get back to caught up in comments again quickly. Chris was, I don't know if you're who Chris was talking to, but he said, can you go live from your phone? I know I can, because I use the I have to use I don't have Wi-Fi out here in the country, so I use my Wi-Fi hotspot to run my laptop, but I have to go through StreamYard on my phone to record. Now I can, when it's cooperating, I can control my second self, as I say, can control StreamYard. I put a second self in to control StreamYard from my laptop. As far as recording, I do all my recording through my phone. I don't know if you were talking to me or not, but ooh, a little off subject, but that's okay. Come on, come up. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Trying to find Miss Mel's comment. Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Now you are talking my language. I love some Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm jealous. I've never got to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers live. Anyway, Miss Mel said she went live, I'm assuming, from the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. Bad connection as well. Yes, I love me some Red Hot Chili Peppers. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Chris says scary is a better term for Larry Hall. I'm lost. Oh, okay. So Chris asked if I would be interested in Larry David Hall. I'm interested in anything you guys got. I'm interested in. You know me. You know what I do. All right, let's see who we got next. Oh, this is a horrifying case. Let me find the article. This is the Lee family. Well, the dad. Let me find the article. In the slide there, hold on. I think I have my slideshow on my tablet, so I can read the while I'm waiting for the article to come up. If I can find I know it's here somewhere. There it is. There it is. Okay, I found it. Bear with me. If it'll come up. Okay. Find the right slide. Okay, so make it bigger so I can read it. There on the slide, on the very left is Athena Lee. She is 4 years old. The middle is Mateo Lee. He is 2 years old. The very right is Cameron Lee, 38, who is their father. So just the basic information. Officers went to their residence on Didcot Circle at approximately 7:30 p.m. July 8th for a medical call. When they arrived, they found the mother of the children deceased. The children and their father could not be located. The children are identified as 4-year-old Athena Lee, 2-year-old Mateo Lee, and then Cameron Lee, 38, is the father. Cameron is believed to be driving a gray 2023 Honda Passport with California license plate that reads 9JUSO91. So that's the basic information. And I do have an article. Apparently, the family and friends have a $10,000 reward. And this article is from October 6th. Family friends creating $10,000 reward for safe return of kids missing for nearly 1 month. Get rid of some ads so I can read. The family of 2 young children missing for nearly a month is still searching for them and is pushing police to provide more updates on the investigation. Sacramento police said that they believe 4-year-old Athena Lee and 2-year-old Mateo Lee were taken by their father, Cameron Lee. The children were reported missing following the passing of their mother, 28-year-old Angelica Bravo. Angelica's body was found on July 8th inside the North Sacramento home where Lee was living. Get past the ads. No, I don't want to do. Okay. Oh my goodness. Sorry, an ad popped up and it put me back at the top of the page. Okay. While Sacramento police have not called Cameron a suspect in Angelica's passing, they are looking to speak with him. The car he was driving was captured on surveillance video, and I believe that is on the bottom of the slide of the poster. The car he was driving was captured on surveillance video entering Mexico. Weeks later, investigators found the vehicle in Ensenada, Mexico, but Cameron and the 2 children were nowhere to be found. Sacramento police said there is a possibility that Athena and Mateo were dropped off somewhere in Southern California, where Cameron, the father, does have ties, but that is unclear. And nearly a month later, with little to no answers, family members and close friends said they are creating a $10,000 reward that they are offering to anyone who can bring Athena and Mateo back home. That's a lot of money for the safe return of those kids, bring the kids back. Philip Bravo, who is Angelica, their mother's father, said. The family also said that they believe the Sacramento Police Department is not being transparent about the investigation. Sacramento PD fumbled. They fumbled really bad. That's heartbreaking. It's very concerning, Philip said. We are not okay with what they are doing. The work they are doing, I feel, is not adequate enough. Angelica's aunt, Marissa Beltran, added, the police only told us that we're getting closer and closer, but that's not telling us enough. We just really are terrified to even know if the kids are okay, and we're stressing out every day by the minute. Now, I understand completely the family's concern. If Mr. Steve is still here, he can chime in on what I'm about to say. I absolutely 100% empathize and understand the family saying that they don't think that, and it could, it could be true or not. Police department could be doing everything they can or not. We don't know. But a lot of times, especially if they have leads, the police are not going, they're going to keep everything close to the vest. They're not even going to tell family members what's going on. Now, is that right or not? That, let everybody has an opinion about that, and that's fine. So it's a double-edged sword, but they do feel, according to the family, they do feel that, they said that they're not doing enough or not telling them enough. Angelica's aunt, Marissa Beltran, added, okay, I already read that. Hold on. A spokesperson with the Sacramento Police Department told KCRA3 that detectives just had a meeting Tuesday afternoon about the case, adding that they are working around the clock alongside their federal, state, and local partners. They also said that they could not disclose a lot of the details of the investigation because they did not want to jeopardize the search for the 2 children. But loved ones said they feel left in the dark, so they are looking to take matters into their own hands to bring Athena and Mateo back home. We're ready to go out there ourselves and put our lives in jeopardy. It just terrifies me when family members say that. Put our lives in jeopardy to go find them ourselves because we feel like they're not doing enough, Marissa said. Gilbert Bravo, Angelica's younger brother, added, are we going to have to do this on our own because we're going to basically risk our lives to go find them? Family and friends are still working on the details of the reward for the safe return of the 2 children. The Sacramento County Coroner's Office told KCRA3 because of Angelica, their mother's death is still pending, and they are waiting for autopsy results to come back, which said it could take months, unfortunately. So, like I said, and if Miss Barbara, if she's still here, she can absolutely attest to some, it's not all police departments. Absolutely, I'm very pro law enforcement. And in my heart, I truly believe that 99.9% of law enforcement officers do their job. They care about these victims. But then you have, unfortunately, with Timmy's case, Miss Barb and the family, they can tell you horror stories about trying to deal with law enforcement and what law enforcement has not done in Timmy's case. So it's, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. But we just hope for the best for little Athena and Mateo, and share everywhere you can to get their faces and their names out there, and hopefully there'll be a happy ending with this one. I'll be caught up in comments again. Miss Mel said, go. Once again, I'm waving my cup. Sorry. Going back to Red Hot Chili Peppers, she said it was a great concert. Well, go ahead and rub it in, lady. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I was talking about concerts though. Me and my mom did before all the sad, tragic events that happened. We did get to go to our Three Dog Night concert. So me and my mom went to see a Three Dog Night. Excellent concert. Those guys are. I mean, Three Dog Night has been around since the 60s. And they've always been one of my favorite bands. They were my mom and dad's favorite band. Three Dog Night and CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. So me and my two brothers were raised on CCR and Three Dog Night. And they have to be in their 70s or 80s, I believe. And they sound just as good now as they did back when I was listening to them, in diapers. When they first started out, and I said this to Mom after the concert on the way home. I said, Mom, those guys are, in their 70s, 80s. They sound better than a lot of my 80s, like 80s and 90s hair bands that I listen to, who I've seen in concert in recent years that don't sound so good anymore. But then you got Three Dog Night in their 70s or 80s, and they sound just as good, just as crisp. Their voices are just as good as they were back, 40 some odd years ago or longer. But anyway, just a side note. Yes, Miss Barbara says we need another music night. Yes, I was just thinking about that because I came across, and I hope I can do it without getting a copyright strike. I found, because when I'm not watching true crime stuff on YouTube, I'm either watching music videos or puppy and kitty videos. So I came across this channel, and it's got like music quizzes, like it'll give you just like a few bars of a song, and you got to guess what the song is. And I was trying to think of how we could incorporate that into a game on here without me getting a copyright strike for a copyright infringement for the music. So I want to figure that out, and we will have a music night, all kinds of music, all genres of music, all generations of music, because I love music from 50s, 60s, some 70s, not disco. The only disco I can get into is the Bee Gees. I love the Bee Gees. 80s and 90s, that's my jam. My early 80s, Duran Duran, Culture Club, late 80s, early 90s, I got into my hair bands, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Skid Row, all the good hair bands. And then 90s rolled around, and I loved the grunge bands, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, all the grunge bands and alternative bands. So yes, I do want to have a music night. So I will have to figure out how to do that, Miss Barbara. Because I know we have all ages in here. Everybody who likes all different genres of music, all different eras of music. So I'm gonna figure something out, and we will definitely have a music night, Miss Barbara. Oh, don't tell me there it goes. Thought my computer was about to poop out on me. Oh, something freaks Chris out. Thank you. Chris said he sent me a thing on Larry Hall. Where did you send it to? Did you oh, did you PM me on Messenger? I see I have a Messenger. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, we have a new name here, I think. Tales Told in the Dark. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Please let me know if you've been here before that, because that name sounds familiar. And the older I get, my memory's not so good. Absolutely. Miss Barb says, come on. There we go. Says, I believe there are a lot of good law enforcement, just not in Fredericktown, Missouri. You are correct, ma'am. You are correct. There's Michelle C. Hey, lady. How are you doing, lady? Good to have you here. Always good to have Miss Michelle here. Yes, Miss Barbara says, yes, some people on here need to learn their music. Yes, like I said, I've been lucky. Like I said, growing up in our house, there was always music going. And I was born in the early 70s, and then my middle brother was born in mid 70s, and then my baby brother, he was born in 80. But yeah, so there was always music in the house. Like I said, always CCR, Three Dog Night, just, you know. So I grew up with music. I guess that's why I have such a love of music. And when I was young, I just listened to those groups just because that's what was playing in the house. But as I got older, I kept listening to them because I found out, hey, I really do like the music. It's good music. So yeah. But like I said, I love everything from when it was the Rat Pack came out, what about the 40s, 30s or 40s, Frank Sinatra and all them. Love Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. Love 60s music, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, all that. Classic, well, so I say classic rock, but now what I call my music, 80s and 90s, is considered classic. Like the Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Ozzy, everything up to the probably early 2000s. Now, when the 2000s started getting into it, there were a few good hard rock bands. But as far as listening on a consistent basis, it's anywhere from the 60s up to the early 2000s. And it's mostly 80s and 90s. But yeah, there's still some good hard rock out there, new hard rock, but the rest of it, I can't get into. I just can't. But anyway, I have a very diverse. I like most genres. Like I said, the newer. I've really never been into pop, what they call pop music. Now, back in the early 80s, it was pop music, like Duran Duran, Cyndi Lauper, Culture Club. That was pop music back then, the early 80s. But like newer pop, I like hard rock, class, metal. Of course, a lot of people call the 80s and 90s hair bands pop, glam rock, pop rock. But anyway, I could talk music all night long. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle's can't give me anything there goes. Says just stopping by, but we'll watch replay tomorrow morning. It's great to see you again, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you too, my love. Yes. See me all very soon. I may end up doing, before I forget, because I will forget if I don't say it now. I might do another, I was just going to do a video, but I probably won't have time to get it recorded because I do probably will start binge watching the Hulu Melissa Witt documentary tonight, the rest of the night after this. And I was going to do a video for a case spotlight of the week, but I probably end up, because I do want to get, I'm going to be talking about Marissa Carmichael. Show of hands or anybody comments if you know, if you've heard about the Marissa Carmichael case. Very bizarre. So between the fact that I probably won't get a chance to get it recorded, and I did want to do it as a live stream to get you guys input on what you think about this case, I will probably do a live stream tomorrow night around the same time, probably around 8 or so. Because I do have a slideshow prepared. I got to get the 911 call screen recorded. So let me know in comments, or if you're watching replay, or let me know in chat. And if you're watching replay, in comments, if y'all would be interested in a live stream tomorrow night about the Marissa Carmichael case. For anybody that doesn't know about Marissa Carmichael, I can bring it up, the basic information. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Everything turned blue. We have another new name, Elliot Jameson. Welcome, welcome. Hello, where are you located? North Carolina here, first time here. I am in Arkansas. It is good to have you here in North Carolina. I hope you are doing okay with the Hurricane Debbie or Tropical Storm Debbie or whatever she is now. I hope you're safe, but it is good to have you here, Elliot. If you don't mind, if you're still here, you can tell us how you found us or not. However you found us, we are glad to have you here. Absolutely. We have a wonderful community here. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me get it to show up here. Mr. Elliott says, I'm assuming Mr. Please correct me. I would just see Elliott and assume it's a male. Says, thanks. I'm a retired state trooper here in North Carolina, and this channel just popped up. Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for your service. Absolutely. I have the utmost admiration for law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, EMS, military. And if your channel just popped up, that is fantastic, because that means that YouTube is keeping my channel in the algorithm. That I totally do not understand the algorithm. If any other creators out there have figured out the YouTube algorithm, please let me know the secret. But at any rate, it is good to have you here. And I hope that I don't scare you off with my babbling. I don't know how long you've been here, but this is my first time going live in almost 3 weeks. Had some stuff going on, some personal stuff. So I'm getting back into the swing of things. But we're so glad to have you here. Especially another law enforcement, retired law enforcement. They can give some knowledge to any questions anybody may have. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Just trying to get caught up. Miss Mel says her music taste is all over the place. Yeah, that's me. If you know, I will listen to any genre or song at least once, give it a chance. If I don't like it, I just won't listen to it again. You know. Excellent. Chris said he'd be interested in Marissa Carmichael case, but need to brush up on it. Yes. Yes, it is very bizarre. She is the young lady, and shame on me. Let me see. I don't think I've uploaded her slideshow yet. No, I haven't. Give me 1 minute, and I can find the basic information. She's the young lady, and for the life of me, like I said, please pardon me because my mind is hadn't kicked back in yet. No, she's not been found that I know of. Just trying to find something with her basic information. Oh, from Greensboro. Hold on, stop my cam for a minute. Get this article up. 25-year-old Marissa Carmichael was last seen in from an Exxon gas station in Greensboro, North Carolina on January 14th, 2024. She's a young lady that she had been to a party. And when I do the slideshow, I have the timeline and everything in the slideshow. And I'm going to make a screen recording of the full 911 call. But she had been to a party. And you guys let me know if you can still hear me. I'm hoping you can. She'd been to a party. She left the party she came with a friend. She left with a different person. And then she ended up at this Exxon gas station in Greensboro, North Carolina, very early in the morning, around 4 a.m. in the morning. She called 911. Hold on, guys. We just lost power. Oh, it's back on. Sorry, guys. We just our electricity just went off, but it came back on. Anyway, she made a 911 call. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything back up make sure everything's still working from the power thing. She made a 911 call that said that whoever she left this party with had told her to go inside the gas station and grab some stuff. He didn't use the word. He used a different S word, but to grab some stuff. When she came back out, she said that he had thrown all of her stuff out of the car except for her phone and left her. She made the 911 call, and then when the police officers got there, she was not there. The people that were working at the Exxon station said she had gotten a ride with a different person, not the person who took off and left her there. And she was not seen since. And I believe that she did use the phone of the person who picked her up from the Exxon station to call her. I believe it was her father at around 5 a.m. that Sunday morning. And after that, it's a very bizarre case, very bizarre. Her mom said that somebody had called or texted her, and she was asking about Marissa, and this person on the other end said that she was okay, she was sleeping. It's just a very bizarre case. Chris said that he knows that there's an area in North Carolina that has tons of cases. Yeah, I think that can be said in most states have a certain area. Here's another new name, I believe. Sweet Misery, welcome. Good to have you here. Oh, excellent. New sub. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to have you here. Yes, you are most definitely among friends. Thank you, Chris. Yes, we have a wonderful community here. And once again, if you don't mind, you can tell us how you found us or not. It doesn't matter. We're just glad you're here. But welcome, welcome. But yes, if you guys would be interested in, because I really do want your guys' input and thoughts on this Marissa Carmichael case. So that's why I kind of wanted to do a live stream to discuss it, to get your guys' thoughts about it. All right. Okay, so we covered the Lee, Athena Lee. All right, so next, this is Troy Galloway. Let me find his article. He is a former Marine. Once again, I'm going to have to get my tablet back out to read the basic information from the slide because I didn't download it to my computer. Troy Galloway is missing from Sonora, California. He was last seen January 13th, 2016. He would be 42 years old now, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. He served from 2000 to 2003. On the evening of January 13th, 2016, he left his home in the Crystal Falls Ranch subdivision and never returned. According to his mother, Troy and his wife had a fight that evening, and Troy left on foot in a short-sleeved t-shirt into the cold January night. And it says, curiously, only 30 minutes after he left the house, his cell phone was turned off, and he has never been seen again. So I do have an article. All right. Let me find the article. Hopefully it has come up. As you can see, it is from News Nation, and it is from, when is it from? It is from July 25th of this year. Oh, sorry. Swatting ads again so I can read. Sorry. Just had a gnat almost fall at my nose. Find the beginning of the article here. These ads keep popping up. Okay. So Troy Robert Galloway left his California home on a chilly night, not dressed for the weather. His parents say the doting father struggled with his mental health, but would never abandon his children. Troy grew up in a doting home, supported by his parents even after they divorced. His mother, Nancy Galloway, said, as a child, Troy was happy. She said he was a really good kid. He got good grades. He had lots of friends. People always loved Troy. His parents supported Troy's decision to join the Marines after he graduated from high school. His father, Rich Galloway, also served as a Marine in Vietnam. His father says, I didn't know if it had anything to do with my background or it was just a choice that he made, and he really changed at that period. He became a man. Troy did well in the military, earning a spot in the prestigious Marine Corps Honor Guard in Washington, D.C., but in his mid-20s, Troy, who was a private first class, began to struggle. Out of nowhere, he just started doing some crazy stuff, buying a car, not making the payments on it, Rich said, going AWOL a lot. He developed a schizoaffective disorder, and the military didn't know anything about it, and it took a while to diagnose it, but Troy was given an honorable discharge. His family said Troy self-medicated and struggled with addiction, but he was a loving father to his son and worked hard to maintain a strong relationship when he married, had a daughter, and moved from Santa Cruz, California, to the remote city of Sonora, California, in the foothills of Yosemite. I even told him, you're really blessed. You have these kids and you have a good wife and all that, Nancy said. And he said, I know, Mom, I know. But Troy left his home suddenly on January 13th, 2016. His wife walked into the basement and caught him using illegal substances. And he ran out in January with snow on the ground in a t-shirt, tennis shoes, and Levi's, his father said. Nancy, the mother, was called 2 days later. She says, if I would have known the day he went missing, I would have driven up there 3 hours just to look for him, she said. Disappointed in the progress made searching for her son, Nancy helped start a Missing Persons Awareness Day. She interviewed neighbors and discovered there was a commotion at the lake the night that Troy disappeared. There was an incident near the lake. There was a man-made lake by their house. and they sent down a deputy to check it out. They did not see anything, Nancy said. That was a mistake because they should have connected that. Troy's family wonders if it could have been him, Troy, at the lake that night. 5 years later, a new investigative team did drain and search Crystal Falls Lake, but they did not find Troy. Nancy isn't sure what happened to her son, but she holds on to Hope, which is also the name of Troy's daughter. Sometimes I have that hope, he could be walking around somewhere, and I get really joyful. Oh, maybe he'll come home, she said. The Tulum Sheriff's Office is handling the case. They denied News Nation's request for an interview and public record request. So Troy Galloway is described as a white male, 6'1", around 170 pounds, with brown hair. He would currently be 42 years old. And anyone with information should contact the Tulum Sheriff's Office at 209-533-5855. So that, I just wanted to share that. Because this is one I believe I found, just came across the flyer in one of the missing persons Facebook groups I'm in, and then I got on the Google machine, as Mr. Steve would say, and found some articles. So I just wanted to share him. Always like to share our veterans, anybody who's served. So has anybody else heard of this case or any of these cases that Oh, excellent. Sweet Misery says, scrolling through YouTube, you popped up. Excellent. Like I said, that's YouTube has put me in the algorithm, I guess. Yes, Miss Barbara, that says that. Well, it'll come up. There we go. Very sad. Absolutely, Miss Barbara. Very sad. The best thing we can do is, well, I guess you could share the link out now, but after it finishes, you can just share this this live stream or anything you can find on Troy's case, and share it anywhere and everywhere you can. Sweet Misery says, I'll have to watch the replay. Absolutely. I love my replay crew. Most of the time I'm on replay crew on all the channels that I watch, my creators that I watch. So absolutely love replay crew. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara is a sharing machine. She says, I've shared a lot of these cases. Thank you. You do a great job. Thank you, ma'am. Not just me. All of the all of the creators who do it for the right reasons, do it because they care about these cases, they care about these missing, they care about the families. They're not doing it to exploit the families, to family bash, victim bash, make money off these cases. I just, that's not what we're about here, and that's I don't watch those kind of creators. I have plenty of creators on here that do it for the right reasons, and they are listed. You can find them in if you go to the homepage of my channel and scroll down to where it says visit our friends below. All excellent creators that I have listed there. I'm gonna have to add, I think, Mrs. Mail, I don't think I've added Cold Truth. I might have, but if not, I will get Mrs. Mail's channel added in there. All right, let's see what we've got next. This is James Slim Walker. Let me find his article. Oh, there it is. And I think I forgot to load them in. I think I do have a video on one. I have an article and a video for Mr. Walker. I think, anyway. So this article is from a few years ago, March of 2020. A family hopes, and this is once again from 2020. A family hopes a new billboard will generate tips to help locate Father James Slim Walker, missing for 20 years from Bedford, Virginia. James Walker would be hard to miss, known as Slim by most everyone in Bedford County, Virginia. His lanky 6'7", 140-pound frame was easily recognizable around town. But on April 7th, 2000, James vanished without a trace. James's son, Bobby Walker, says, my dad was a character. He was laid back, friendly to everyone. He towered over all of us. Lanky guy, but he could just eat all day long and never gain a pound. I know people like that. I could just think about food and gain weight. Bobby is one of James's 6 children, and at one point in his life, worked with him at the sawmill for a brief time. Bobby told Dateline he has fond memories of going fishing with his father, and when he got older, having a beer and just enjoying time together. Bobby said we'd be out in the middle of nowhere talking about having a beer, and he'd just pull one out of the air. Man, he was full of surprises, just a lot of fun. 1 week from now, from 2020, will be the 20th anniversary. So this year was the 24th anniversary of James Walker's disappearance. He was 53 years old. According to the missing person report given to the Bedford City Police Department at the time, James was last seen between approximately 9:15 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. on Friday, April 7th, 2000. He was reportedly sitting in his friend Donald Adams' car in the parking lot of the Food Line in the Peaksview Shopping Center on Longwood Road, while Donald and 2 other unnamed people they were with went inside the store. There are conflicting reports on whether James, who was a smoker, got out of the car to smoke a cigarette during that time. His friends told police that when they returned to the car, James was gone. The friends called police, and an extensive search was launched, but James was nowhere to be found. Bedford City Police Chief Todd Foreman, who has been police chief for 5 years and on the force for 24 years, was a patrol officer at the time. I remember searching for him that day, all over the woods back there behind the Food Line. No trace, Chief Foreman told Dateline. I never met Slim, but I knew of him. Everyone there knew him. He was a really well-liked guy. Bobby, who said he was around 25 years old at the time of his father's disappearance, was in Lynchburg for a job when he got the call from his family that their father was missing. I remember it like it was yesterday, Bobby said. Missing, it didn't really make sense, and I didn't think it was a big deal at first, like maybe he had just gone off with his friends. At the time, James had been living with his friend Donald Adams and Donald's wife on Cool Springs Road on Taylor's Mountain in Thaxton, Virginia, about 7 miles from the Food Line in Bedford. James's daughter, Tiny Walker, then 23, was working at Bedford Hospital when she got the call from one of her brothers. She had the same reaction as her older brother, Bobby. He said, our dad was missing, and I just thought that was strange. Excuse me. My dad was a really laid-back, friendly guy. We all thought he had gone off with his friends. Missing was just something that did not cross our minds. Security footage from the Food Line reviewed by authorities showed 3 people, including Donald Adams, walked into the store and then later leaving the store and walking to Donald's car where James was reportedly waiting. Bobby told Dateline he viewed the footage and did not see his father on video and wondered if he was even there that day. The surveillance footage is still being held as part of the investigation, and so far has not led to any further clues on James's whereabouts, detectives said. In early 2001, authorities received a tip that James' remains were buried near a trailer on the property at Taylor's Mountain where James had been living. Investigators obtained a warrant and searched the area, but no evidence was discovered. The case went cold for years. Then in the summer of 2015, another tip prompted authorities to once again search the property. Once again, nothing else was found. A chief foreman told Dateline there have been persons of interest over the years, but added that no one has been named as a suspect in James's disappearance. There are people out there who know what happened, and we're just hoping someone comes forward with helpful information, Chief Foreman said. That information could be what we need to give this family a resolution. James's daughter, Tiny, now works at a local nursing home and lives down the street from where her father used to live. She told Dateline she used to talk to her father every day. It's just really tough. Imagine someone you love is missing and you don't know where they are or what happened to them. That's the worst part, not knowing. I just want to find my dad. Tiny added that she doesn't know why anyone would want to harm her father. She said he didn't have money. He was a simple guy, and everyone loved him. Why hurt him? That's what we don't understand. Both Tiny and her brother Bobby believe their father's disappearance was the result of foul play, and believe they are looking for his remains. Bobby said, "My main concern is finding my dad so I can finally bring him home, and I'm bound and determined to do that. To bring him home before I meet my maker, we need that peace, that closure for the whole family." Over the years, the family has received support from all over the community. It doesn't end there. A Facebook page called Help Us Find James Davis Walker has helped keep the case in the public eye, bringing in discussions about the case and even some tips from the community. Uh, in March of 2020, with the help from the Aware Foundation, a billboard with James's photo and info about the case was put up near the intersection of Wheatland Road and Route 460 in Bedford, Virginia. The family told Dateline they hope this new effort will generate new information from someone passing by and ultimately bring their family closer to finding their father. It is a reminder to everyone who sees it, everyone who drives past, that my father has been missing for 20 years, Bobby said, and a reminder that we're not giving up until we find him. James was 53 years old when he disappeared in 2000. He was 6'7", 140 pounds, with blue eyes and gray hair that was balding at the time. He has the initials JW and PW tattooed on his left arm. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, a black t-shirt, blue jeans, a black or green baseball cap, and work boots. So if you or someone you know have information on James's whereabouts or details about his case, call the Bedford County Sheriff's Office at 540-586-7827 or Crime Stoppers at 1-888-798-5900. All right, that was it's a long article, but it has some good information in it. We get caught up in comments. I do have a little bit more recent, shorter article on Mr. Walker. Welcome, John Paul Hanson. Good to have you here. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. Okay, Chris said, I do not have Cold Truth or Truth and Justice on your list of friends. I will definitely get both of those added. Most definitely. All right, let me see. I thought I had a video, but I don't think I'd have got them done. I don't think I got them screen recorded. Let me check right quick. Checking my gallery. I'm pushing buttons. I'm going to try not to put this into a dumpster fire. Still checking. Nope. No, I guess I got them done. Okay, I don't have the video, but the other article I don't think is as long. All right, so this one is from April 7th of 2023. It says Bedford man still missing after 23 years. Foul play may be involved. A Bedford County man who disappeared in 2000 is still missing with foul play a strong possibility, according to the Commonwealth's Attorney Office. A Bedford County Sheriff's Office spokesman says at this time we have no new leads. However, the case remains active and an investigator is assigned. Anytime we get any new lead, we run it down immediately. But at this time, unfortunately, we do not have anything new. He says this is still considered a missing persons case. Tiny Ruff, Walker's daughter, says, I tried to tell people if you had a family member just disappear, just kind of think of it that way. It doesn't make any sense. Someone knows something and they're just not saying anything. Actually, I think I had a slide. I was going to, hold on 1 minute. Oh, yes. The important information that I was going to read is on the slide. Hold on. Let me get my tablet back up so I can read the slide from it. I can get my fingers to work to get my tablet unlocked. All right, there it is. Okay. So what I was going to read from this is a statement in 2023 from Bedford County Commonwealth Attorney Wes Nance. Issued this statement in a wave and update. The disappearance of James Walker continues to be an open investigation due to the nature of his disappearance. Foul play has not been ruled out and is now considered the most likely scenario by this office. Throughout the years, we have worked closely with the Bedford County Sheriff's Office, Town of Bedford Police Department, and the Virginia State Police to attempt to bring some answers to the Walker family. This effort has included a variety of investigative efforts to include numerous searches in and around Taylor's Mountain for physical evidence or remains. Over the years, law enforcement has centered its investigation on the 3 individuals most likely to have information about Mr. Walker's last known appearance. Although I'm not prepared to refer to them as suspects, they could be considered persons of interest. Attempts to obtain additional information from those individuals has been met with silence, resistance, and inconsistent statements. Recently, one of those 3 individuals passed away, further complicating our efforts to provide answers about Walker's disappearance. I would strongly urge any person who has information about Mr. Walker's disappearance to contact the Bedford County Sheriff's Office, Town of Bedford Police Department, or the Virginia State Police. The names of the persons of interest have not been released, and there is not enough evidence to charge them criminally, according to Mr. Nance. Now, reading some other articles that I found, one of the persons of interest, and let me find his name again, because he was mentioned publicly in this article. Oh, let me go back to the other article. Because I've already forgotten the guy's name. 1 minute, let me find it. Donald Adams, I believe it, and this is just my opinion, my theory. Donald Adams is one of the persons that they're referring to. Donald Adams' wife, or girlfriend, wife, whatever she was, and then this third person that was in the car with them that was not named. In my opinion, y'all let me know what you think. In my opinion, I think those are the 3 persons that they're referring to. Just from other articles that I've read. But the only name that's been mentioned publicly, as far as who he was with, was Donald Adams, uh, Donald Adams' wife, who they never named publicly, and then this other gentleman or other person that they have never named publicly. But that is just my opinion. All right. Let's see what we got next. Yes, there we go. Miss Barbara with the red flags. Absolutely. Yep, like I said, if I was to guess, it would be Mr. Adams, his wife, and this other person that was in the car with him when they supposedly all four went to the Food Line grocery store. Well, like we heard, I think his son or the son and the daughter may have both said that they watched the video from the store, and they don't believe, it's their opinion, that their dad was never at that store. It was just the three of them, and that was their story, and they were sticking to it. All right. So I thought this was interesting. I found this article. It's one I had bookmarked in my browser for forever. Bethany Markowski, and it also, you see by there on the side, it says case that inspired Tennessee Missing Children's Day goes 23 years unsolved. Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn my camera back on. Let me find the article and get a sip. We're almost there, guys. 2.5 hours. Okay. This is from March of this year, and it says case that inspired Tennessee Missing Children's Day goes 23 years unsolved. As the search continues for countless children missing out of Tennessee, March 4th marks a day of awareness for the families who still refuse to give up. The day has been known as Tennessee Missing Children's Day ever since 2017, when Johnny Carter and Representative Darren Jernigan created the measure in recognition of Carter's daughter, Bethany Markowski. Markowski was only 11 years old when she disappeared on March 4, 2001. According to her mother, she was a kind, smart, sassy kid. She loved to sing. She loved to sing, didn't want you to watch her, so you had to turn your back while she would sing into a brush and dance, Carter told News 2 in a 2017 interview. Her father was reportedly the last person to see Bethany before she seemingly vanished from the Old Hickory, shopping mall in Jackson. Carter's mother said it was her second visitation with her father. Sorry, trying to get past all these ads. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. According to the FBI, which has been involved in the investigation, Markowski went into the mall alone while her father waited for her in the car. He had taken a nap out in the parking lot. He let Bethany go into the mall, and she's gone, Carter said. After about 2 hours had passed, Markowski's father went into the mall to look for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Unconfirmed sightings have poured in throughout the years, but none of them have turned out to be credible. It's one of dozens of cases out of Tennessee that have continued to haunt investigators for years. At the time of this article, which was from, March of this year, it says currently there are 13 unsolved cases in the state of Tennessee where the children have been missing so long they would now be over 18 years old. In some cases, the children have been declared legally deceased, but their disappearance remains under investigation until they are recovered or their whereabouts are discovered, according to the TBI. The agency estimates that nearly 500 to 600 children go missing each month, many due to parental abductions or runaways, with about 8 to 9 Amber Alerts issued each year. I'm assuming that's just in Tennessee. And whenever we issue an Amber Alert, those children will remain in Amber Alert until we've located them, regardless of what the circumstances might be. Shelley Smitherman, TBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, told News 2 in a 2022 interview. Even if they're believed to be deceased, we don't stop looking. Absolutely. As of March 4th, 2024, there are at least 40 Tennessee children whose whereabouts are still unknown after being reported missing within the last few years, and 6 active Amber Alerts. The legislation designating March 4th as Tennessee Missing Persons Day or Missing Children's Day was aimed at bringing awareness to these unsolved cases. Smitherman said it's often the public that helps resolve these cases after seeing a child's face or remembering a piece of information. And that statement, to me, sums up the very reason I do this channel. It's because I believe that the public, the more that you share these missing persons cases, the more that their names stay out there, that their faces stay out there in the public spotlight, I would like to think, and I truly believe in my heart, it makes a difference of how some of these cases can get resolution. They can either be found, or at least, if it's worst case scenario, at least find out what happened to the missing, find their remains. That's why I do my channel. That is why I do this channel. It's beyond anything I could ever imagine, Carter told News 2 shortly before the measure was passed in 2017. I know Bethany would be proud of this. Bethany, who would now be 34 years old, was last seen wearing a green shirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. She was around 4 foot 8 inches tall at the time of her disappearance. She weighed about 95 pounds and has brown hair and green eyes. Anyone who has information on Bethany's disappearance is asked to contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or their local FBI office. The TBI also suggests parents use the Tennessee Kid Kit to document key details about their children, such as photographs and identifying factors in case of an emergency. Having that information on hand helps authorities issue alerts faster. So I just thought that was very interesting and informative. And I'd heard about Bethany's case. Obviously, I'd read about it before, but I did not know that she was the inspiration for the Tennessee Missing Children's Day. So I thought that was interesting. Absolutely. Chris has got red flags going too. He says Bethany's case has red flags along with the others being talked about. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And I think this is a very, very strange. And I know I had a video of this one. I thought, give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can retrieve it. Because I know I did screen record this video. I just have to find out where I put it at. Oh my goodness, where did I put these videos? Not there. I'm pushing buttons. We're not there. I hate it when I can't find something. Not there. Well, sorry guys. I'm still trying to. I know I. Well, apparently it has disappeared. Anyway, okay, I can't find it, so I will just read the article. Oh, Miss Barbara must have read up on this case from Hawaii. She said this was crazy. Yes, it is. Oh, good. I'm not the other one. She says I do it all the time. I know I screen recorded it because I actually was going to do this story for a live stream that I was going to do, 3 weeks ago, and it's disappeared off my phone. Anyway, all right. But I do have the article bookmarked. So, yes, this one is crazy. Let me get the article up. So this is from July of this year. FBI seeking public's help in searching for missing family last seen in 2022. Let me swat some ads out of the way. Play whacking ad. So what happened to the Bernstein family? That is the question. The FBI said in a press conference Thursday that they need help in their search. Abigail Bernstein and her two sons, I'm going to try not to butcher these names, Koa Kai and Kush Kahole, were last seen at the Alawai boat harbor back in October of 2022. They have been scheduled to leave on a year-long journey at sea with someone Abigail met online. That terrifies me. Now, I don't know how long it had been since she met this person online before they were going to go on this year-long journey. I just always get obviously a very bad feeling when I hear about these cases regarding people that somebody met online. But anyway, but the Coast Guard was notified last year that they never returned. Mrs. Bernstein lived a nomadic lifestyle and had cut ties with her family before going out to sea. Interviews and intelligence indicated she was probably living off the grid and off of the land somewhere in Hawaii. FBI Honolulu Special Agent in Charge Stephen Merrill said. While the Bernstein family went missing in Oahu, Miss Bernstein did have ties to the Big Island, Kauai, and Maui. The boys, Koa Kai and Kush Kahole, would now be 11 and 8 years old, respectively. Officials said they have no evidence of foul play, but they have not ruled it out. And anyone with any tips or information is encouraged to call the FBI at 808-673-2719. And that is the only information that I could find on this case. So there you see on, once again, let me get my tablet out. On the right is the missing flyer. Get my tablet up so I can read. Find the right slide. So the top left is, once again, I'm gonna try not to butcher the names. Koa Kai Bernstein. He would now be 11 years old. Okay, well, I thought it had other specifics, but it's just so. Koa Kai is on the left, now be 11 years old. Kush is on the top right. He was now be 8 years old, and on the bottom is mom, Abigail Bernstein, who would now be 33 years old. And once again, the number for FBI Honolulu, Hawaii, 1-808-673-2719. So another bizarre case. Like I said, it just terrified me when I read that. Hold on. There we go. When I read that she had taken off with somebody that she met online, and just like I wondered the same thing too, Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara said, "Why would you take your kids around someone you met online?" Absolutely. We know of several current or one current case. Well, not really met online, but the mother brought the man in the house with the daughter, and he ended up abusing the daughter, and she ended up deceased. We all know what case that is. Or I'm assuming we all know what case that is. But there are several cases, and I've heard one creator that I watch is Pat Brown. She's a criminal profiler. She didn't work with the FBI or anything. She was, and I've heard other people say it too, other professionals say it, that the most dangerous thing that a woman can do is not, I'm not singling out females, but the most dangerous thing that a woman can do is bring, my Southern's coming out, bring a male into the house that's not biologically related to children, whether they be female or male. That is the most dangerous thing that someone can do, that they can do. The male has no emotional ties to the children. Now, I'm not saying, absolutely not saying this is about every stepfather or step parent. 99% of them are excellent, but you got that 1 or 2%. Anytime you introduce somebody that's not biologically related to a child, they don't have that deep emotional tie to them, and it's very, very dangerous. I probably didn't explain that very well, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It's just, scares me to death. All right, I think that was the last story I had. We're almost at 3 hours. So if anybody's got anything else want to comment on, talk about, anything on your mind before we get out of here, because I got to save some voice for tomorrow night for the Marissa Carmichael case, and I will get that scheduled, get it put in. I can't pronounce that last name. Chris says I prefer Sheila Wazowski. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not familiar with that name. But I will get the tomorrow night's live scheduled. It'll probably be around the same time, around 8 o'clock Central Time. So it'd be 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And I want to get done before, I'm assuming that our friend Dave Allen LaProw will be doing his early Sunday morning a live stream like he usually does. I've got to get caught up on his too. I haven't been so behind on everything, but so I will get that scheduled. I've already got the slideshow and everything. All I got to do is screen record the 911 call, because I think I've got all the slideshow done for that one. So if you guys got any last comments, goodbyes, anything you want to say, I'll do a little bit of shameless plugging. And I always forget to run my little crawler thing across the bottom. I guess I can put it up for a while these last few minutes. You can find me on the Facebook, the Book of Faces. I have a group and a page, also obviously called Southern Gal True Crime. I post more in the group. All the I share and post and share from other groups. A lot of missing persons, cold cases that I find. So definitely do check that out. On the page, I post mainly links to articles, which if you're, according to Mr. Lance, if you're in Canada, you can't read the articles, but sometimes I'll come across a story I find interesting, and I either plan on doing a video of it and I just don't get around to it, so I'll just post the article on the page. And I do post the links to my live streams, and I post my videos I do on there. But you're going to get more from the group, so please consider joining the group. You can contact me if you have, you can contact me for anything, but if you have a missing person case, a cold case, any kind of case that you would think needs more attention, more awareness, you can email me at Southern Gal True Crime at, nope, that's the wrong one. No, that's the right one, at hotmail.com, excuse me. Southern Gal True Crime at hotmail.com. Give me the name of the person or the case, where the case is from, and I will do my best to share it, do a video on it, a short video, a live stream, whatever I can do. If you would like to help support the channel, all the links are in the description box and in the description of my page. And please, the best thing you can do is, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Best thing you can do is like, leave a comment, and share. All those things help this information, like we talked about tonight, these missing persons and cold cases, reach more people. And that's the goal, is for this information to get out to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, and try to do our little small part on this little corner of YouTube world, to try to get that information out there. Let's see. I do also, I'm gonna try to start working on this more too, if I can get it to come up. Also do have a second channel called Southern Gal Ramblings, where I post about anything but true crime. Music, movies, paranormal, UFOs, aliens, weird, wacky stuff. The 80s. I'm a Gen Xer, so I love talking anything 80s and 90s. So I think I did do a short and upload it, but I'm going to try to start uploading more shorts over there, and maybe a video a week, just talking about whatever pops into my little pea brain. So please consider, the link to that is in the description section of my channel. So please do check it out if you think that is something you'll be interested in. All right, I think that is all my shameless plugging. So let me get to y'all's comments. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Always a pleasure to have Miss Barbara here. She's good night, Chad and Southern Gal. You do wonderful work. Thank you, ma'am. Not just me. It's a whole community. It takes me. It takes other good creators. It takes you guys, you wonderful human beings, all of us working together to get this information out in the right way. Thank you for what you do for all the families. Yes, I missed you too. I missed all of you guys while I was gone, but hopefully I'm easing my way back into a little bit of normalcy. It's still going to be hard, but doing this will help keep my mind occupied and give me something to do and to think about other than what's been happening. So I thank you guys for all your support once again, for all your well wishes and condolences. Thank you so much. I love you guys dearly. I truly mean that. I know people say that, but I truly, truly mean it. I wouldn't be here and couldn't be here except for you guys sitting here listening to a crazy old middle-aged woman droning on and reading, but we share important information here, so I appreciate it very much. So, sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. What am I looking for? Oh, there it is. Sorry. So tomorrow night around 8 o'clock Central Time, we'll have a live stream discussing the Marissa Carmichael case. Until then, take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Take care of each other. That's the most important thing we can do, is take care of our fellow human beings. Thanks for watching once again. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.